Right friends, welcome back to News at a Glance for 40th week. First one, Reserve Bank of India made it mandatory to obtain no objection certificate from other banks before opening current account. Basically, this is to prevent diversion of funds and malpractices. Look into the next one, Reliance Group. Reliance Group is headed by Anil Ambani. Recently, Dassault Aviation and Reliance Group announced a joint venture to execute offset contracts worth rupees 22,000 crores. You may ask what is meant by offset contract. Before understanding offset contract, let us look at the recent agreement signed by government for procurement of 36 Rafale fighter jets. Rafale fighter jets, please look into this slide. This is Rafale fighter jet, and recently government agreed to purchase 36 Rafale fighter jets. Accordingly, agreement was signed at a value of around rupees 59,000 crores of rupees, and defense contracts beyond certain value will have offset clause. You may ask what is meant by offset clause. That means they have to manufacture certain percentage of the value of the contract in India, and this particular contract has got a 50% offset contract. And the main point of the offset contract in a Rafale fighter jet deal is 74% of it is to be imported from India, and which indicates direct business of around rupees 22,000 crores of rupees. So the offset will be spread over 7 years. So it will give big boost to Make in India campaign. And Dassault Aviation of France and Reliance Group of India will form a joint venture for manufacturing this equipment at a value of rupees 22,000 crores over a period of 7 years. That is all about this offset contract. FMO is the Dutch Development Bank that signed an agreement with S-Bank to invest rupees 330 crore in green infrastructure bonds. Basically, green infrastructure bond facilitates investments in green projects. That means environmental friendly projects. Look into the next one. Syndicate Bank was chosen to maintain and operate an account named Army Welfare Fund Battle Casualties, and this account was opened at Syndicate Bank's Defence Headquarters branch, South Block, New Delhi. Basically, this money will be utilized to pay financial assistance or grant to widows of our battle casualties, their next of kin and dependents. All of you are well aware, some people are losing lives. Our brave heroes are losing lives when fighting at the line of control and international border with Pakistan, and basically to give financial assistance or grant to widows of our battle casualties. This welfare fund is intended, and this was opened by Syndicate Bank. Government stated that rupees 8,186 crore illegally kept in offshore banks by the Indians has been brought under the tax ambit. And please don't forget, recently several Indians were figured in Panama Papers, and to look at this, government has already set up a multi-agency group comprising Central Board of Direct Taxes, Reserve Bank of India, Financial Intelligence Unit, and Enforcement Directorate. And please don't forget, Directorate of Enforcement or Enforcement Directorate and Financial Intelligence Unit, these two are under the Ministry of Finance, and government stated that the illegal accounts in offshore banks to the tune of rupees 8,186 crores could be achieved in spite of the non-cooperation from Switzerland authorities. Look into the next one, KJ Yesudas. is brand ambassador for Haritha Keralam. The purpose of Haritha Keralam is garbage free and clean state. All of you are familiar with the famous singer A.J. Yesudas. He will be the brand ambassador for Haritha Keralam for Kerala government. Reserve Bank of India approved the appointment of Parvez Ahmad as Chairman and CEO of Jammu and Kashmir Bank for a period of 3 years. Here, one important point I would like to tell you. Jammu and Kashmir Bank is the private sector bank, and it is the only private sector bank acting as an agent of Reserve Bank of India, or otherwise it administers the functions on behalf of central government. Right friends, Arundhati Bhattacharya has got 1 year extension. The basic purpose is twofold. One is SBI has got high non-performing assets and she has to look at solving the problem of bad debts. Second important issue is government plans to merge 5 associate banks. In view of these two reasons, Government of India has given extension to Arundhati Bhattacharya. And please don't forget, merger of State Bank of Saurashtra with SBI took place in 2008 and State Bank of Indore got merged in the year 2010. And please don't forget, recently State Bank of India opened its branch at Angom in Myanmar. Government has made Aadhaar mandatory for availing LPG subsidy, and please don't forget, at present the citizens in India are getting 12 numbers of 14.2 kg cylinders or 34 numbers of 5 kg cylinders every year with the subsidy. And now government made Aadhaar mandatory for getting subsidy, and there are about 18 crore LPG consumers in the country. Total households in the country are around 24 crores. Out of 24 crores, 18 crore households have got LPG connections, and out of 18 crore, 16.5 crores avail subsidy, and 14.5 crore people have already been seeded with Aadhaar number. Renowned figurative artist Yusuf Arakkal died recently due to illness at the age of 70. Born in Kerala, settled down in Bengaluru, and he left a distinct impression of his own with his works. Please look into this figure. This is the work of Yusuf Arakkal. Patna High Court struck down Bihar Excise Amendment Act 2016, stating that it violates the provisions of the Constitution, and immediately Bihar government notified another act, that is Bihar Prohibition and Excise Act 2016. Look into the next one. Reserve Bank of India reduced repo rate by 0.25%. Now the policy rates I have given here, please go through them. Repo at 6.25%, reverse repo at 5.75%. And this is for the first time that monetary policy was announced with the Monetary Policy Committee. 6-member Monetary Policy Committee for the first time announced monetary policy. Look into this slide. 3 external members nominated for 4-year fixed tenure. One is Pami Dua, Director for Delhi School of Economics, then Chetan Ghate, ISI Professor, then Ravindra Dholakia, Professor of Economics in IIM Ahmedabad. So these 3 members were external members, and at the same time 3 internal members, Governor, Deputy Governor Ramasubramaniam Gandhi, then Michael Patra, Executive Director. So 6-member committee for the first time decided the monetary policy. Recently, United Nations Wildlife Conference was held in South Africa. It rejected the proposal of Swaziland to legalize the international sale of rhino horn. And Swaziland, please look into this slide. Swaziland is the country tucked between South Africa on one side, Mozambique on the other side. That is one part of the story. please look into this slide. These are rhinoceros, and Swaziland imposed a ban on trade in rhino horns in 1977, but it became a failure and several rangers were also killed during the past 4 decades. And please don't forget, South Africa constitutes maximum number of rhinos in the world. And finally, the UN Wildlife Conference, which was held in South Africa, rejected the proposal of Swaziland to legalize the international sale of rhino horn. Look into the next one. East Germany and West Germany reunification completed 26 years on 3rd October. Both East Germany and West Germany reunited in the year 1990 on 3rd October. Doping ban imposed on Maria Sharapova, tennis player, was reduced from 2 years to 15 months. Initially, 2-year ban was imposed. What is the reason? The reason is she was banned for using meldonium. And now the Court of Arbitration for Sport. You may ask, where is the Court of Arbitration for Sport? This is in Lausanne, Switzerland, and this Lausanne-based court finally reduced the ban from 2 years to 15 months. Nayanjot Lahiri, professor of history at Ashoka University, was awarded 2016 John F. Richards Prize. And this John F. Richards Prize is awarded annually by the American Historical Association to the best book in South Asian history. And Nayanjot Lahiri is the author of Ashoka in Ancient India. Ashoka was the king who spoke with his people through his edicts. International Monetary Fund predicted growth rates of 3.1% for 2016 and 3.4% for 2017. And please don't forget, World Economic Outlook is released by IMF. Ease of Doing Business Index is released by World Bank, whereas World Economic Outlook is released by International Monetary Fund. And in 2016 and 2017, as per IMF World Economic Outlook, India is expected to grow at 7.6%. And please don't forget, China's growth is expected to be around 6.6% for 2016 and 6.2% for 2017. India's communication satellite GSAT-18 was launched by Ariane space rocket from the spaceport of Kourou in French Guiana. You may ask, where is the French Guiana? Please look into this map. This is the location of Kourou and this is the French territory. Please don't forget. And this GSAT-18 was launched from Kourou and by Ariane space rocket. And GSAT-18 was built by ISRO. You may have a pertinent question. Why this was launched from Kourou? Why not from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota? The basic thing is, for heavyweight satellites, we don't have sufficient infrastructure for launching. Our GSLV series at present will take care of satellites probably up to 2200 kilograms. So heavyweight satellites like 3-ton or 4-ton weight are required to be launched from other locations. And now ISRO is developing necessary infrastructure for launching heavyweight satellites from Sriharikota. Look into the next one. With the 178-run victory over New Zealand in the second test at Eden Gardens, Kolkata, India reached the top of the test rankings. Sometime back, Pakistan got the first rank. Now Pakistan is in second rank with 111 points. And India reached the top position with 115 points in test rankings. Look into the next one. Government decided to set up public debt management cell as an interim arrangement before establishing Public Debt Management Agency. I would like to tell you a few points. At present, government's borrowing program, government borrows around 5 lakh crores to 6 lakh crores every year from the market, and this is basically to bridge fiscal deficit, and this accumulate year after year, and the accumulation is known as public debt, and till date this is being looked after by Reserve Bank of India. Government's borrowing program is looked after by Reserve Bank of India, and Reserve Bank of India is a banker to government, at the same time borrower to government. Now government wants to separate this borrower role from Reserve Bank of India. That means government wants to separate these functions with a separate agency, Public Debt Management Agency. And now, as a stopgap arrangement, government set up this Public Debt Management Cell, and subsequently within 1 or 2 years, Public Debt Management Agency will be set up. And now this Public Debt Management Cell will be under the Ministry of Finance for the time being. Look into the next one. Mahindra & Mahindra launched country's first electric cargo and passenger van, the Mahindra e-Supro. World Post Day is celebrated on 9th October. Theme for 2016 is Innovation, Integration and Inclusion. And at the same time, please don't forget, Universal Postal Union was established on 9th October 1874. And to commemorate that, this World Post Day is celebrated on 9th October, and the headquarters of Universal Postal Union is situated at Bern, Switzerland. This is the picture of Universal Postal Union. Please look into this slide. UN Highest Court, International Court of Justice rejected Marshall Islands plea against India, Pakistan, Great Britain for allegedly failing to halt the nuclear arms race. Marshall Islands approached International Court of Justice that these countries have failed in halting the nuclear arms race, and International Court of Justice rejected Marshall Islands plea. And please see the irony that the Pacific Island nation, please look into this slide, this is the location of Marshall Islands, and this Pacific Island nation was ground zero for several nuclear tests by United States of America between 1946 and 1958. Several nuclear tests were conducted during that period, 1946 to 1958, by United States of America. But see the irony, the country is blaming India, Pakistan and Great Britain for failing to halt the nuclear arms race. Businesswoman and philanthropist Parameshwar Godrej passed away in Mumbai after a prolonged illness, and initially she was air hostess with Air India, and she later married Adi Godrej. All of you are familiar with the Godrej firm, and she passed away recently in Mumbai. 12 nations are participating in International Kabaddi World Cup. This is being held in Ahmedabad. All the matches are being played in Arena Stadium, Ahmedabad. Look into the next one. Reserve Bank of India issued guidelines for small and payment banks. And please don't forget, minimum capital requirement is 15% for small and payment banks. Not only for small finance banks, but also for payments banks, the minimum capital requirement is kept as 15%. Please don't forget. India and Sri Lanka decided to conclude technology and economic cooperation agreement by the end of this year. Recently, Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe visited India, and basically with the conclusion of this agreement by the end of this year, it will facilitate easy flow of services, investments and technology. And Already free trade agreement exists between India and Sri Lanka, and once this technology and economic cooperation agreement is concluded, then it will lead to free flow of services, investment and technology. And please don't forget, IOCL, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, will establish second refinery with a capacity of at least 1 lakh barrels a day in Sri Lanka. And at the same time, the Sri Lankan Prime Minister stated that whole area around the Bay of Bengal with the BIMSTEC along with the 3 more countries, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, should be made the vibrant zone. BIMSTEC, please look into this map. These 7 countries are part of BIMSTEC. The Home Minister stated that the entire boundary between India and Pakistan will be sealed by December 2018. And please don't forget, including the line of control, the total border between India and Pakistan is 3,323 kilometers, and border was created broadly based on the Radcliffe Line in 1947. And 4 states share border with Pakistan. Out of 4 states, Jammu and Kashmir shares maximum length of border, that is 1225 kilometers. That includes line of control. Rajasthan 1037 kilometers, Punjab 553 and Gujarat 508 kilometers. And international border mostly is manned by border security force, whereas line of control region is manned by the Indian Army. Please don't forget. Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos won the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to end 5 decades of civil war. The reason is, recently government concluded the peace deal with FARC rebels. And look into the next one. Portugal's former Prime Minister Antonio Guterres will replace Ban Ki-moon as a Secretary General of United Nations. And Portugal's former Prime Minister Antonio Guterres will replace Ban Ki-moon from 1st January 2017. And 2 tenures with the total 10 years of Ban Ki-moon of South Korea will end on 31st December 2016. And United Nations first Secretary General was Trygve Lie. Please look into this slide. Then 8th Secretary General is Ban Ki-moon, and 9th Secretary General will be Antonio Guterres, the former Prime Minister of Portugal. The Contingent Reserve Arrangement CRA of BRICS nations was declared operational, and this was first conceived during 6th BRICS Summit at Fortaleza in Brazil in July 2014 and formally established in 2015 during 7th BRICS Summit at Ufa, Russia, and recently it became operational. Basically, it is aimed at supporting BRICS countries to overcome short-term balance of payments pressures. Basically, it will supplement the efforts of International Monetary Fund. And please don't forget, under this Contingent Reserve Arrangement, the committed resources will be total $100 billion, out of which China committed $41 billion, then India, Brazil and Russia $18 billion each, and South Africa $5 billion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi released 15 volumes on the works of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, and 100th birth anniversary celebrations of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay were celebrated recently, and Deen Dayal Upadhyay, important leader of Bharatiya Jan Sangh, was born in village Nagla Chandrabhan near Mathura in Uttar Pradesh. And recently, Prime Minister Narendra Modi released 15 volumes on the works of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay. Former ISRO Chairman and space scientist Professor U.R. Rao became the first Indian to be inducted in the Hall of Fame of International Astronautical Federation. You may ask, where is this International Astronautical Federation? This is in Paris, France. And you may ask, what is meant by Hall of Fame? Hall of Fame is nothing but permanent gallery of famous personalities, and our former chairman of ISRO from 1984 to 1994 and guiding force behind the design of 20 satellites, Professor U.R. Rao, has inducted into the Hall of Fame of International Astronautical Federation. Right friends, with this let us conclude the news at a glance. Please do join for other capsules. Have a nice day. Thank you.